President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held talks with head of Sudan's Transitional Sovereignty Council, Lieutenant General Staff Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, in Cairo on Thursday. Presidential spokesman Mohammed al-Shenawi said the two leaders discussed the latest developments in Sudan and efforts to reach a settlement and contain the crisis. The meeting also tackled means of enhancing bilateral ties in various domains of cooperation. Meanwhile, Egypt said it endorsed U.S. President Donald Trump's vision for security, stability and peace in Sudan, in line with his approach of peacemaking, preventing escalation and resolving conflicts around the world. Cairo warned that escalating violence across its southern border directly affects Egyptian national security, which is inextricably linked to Sudanese national security. It called for unity and territorial integrity, which it said are threatened by parallel authorities. Vote counting began after the end of runoffs of the second stage of the House of Representatives elections across 13 governorates on Thursday. At a press conference, the executive director of the National Elections Authority, Councillor Ahmed Binderi, confirmed that the NEA had followed up the voting process and offered all facilitations to enable all voters to cast their ballots in a smooth and transparent way. Councillor Binderi hailed citizens' participation in the two-day voting and their keenness to exercise their constitutional rights in choosing whoever they view as the best to represent them in Parliament. The councillor said the NEA had received 46 complaints, including stacks, densities and bribes, as well as hindering voters from entering their polling stations, asserting that all complaints had been dealt with in coordination with heads of follow-up and general committees. He affirmed that the head of the NEA, Councillor Hazem Badawi, is the only one tasked with announcing final results of the elections, stressing that any announcements of results by heads of general polling stations are just a number counting of votes and not final results. Councillor Binderi said the upcoming runoff stage will be held in 19 constituencies and take place outside Egypt on the 24th and 25th of December and inside Egypt on the 27th and 28th of the month, and would include 7 governorates and 19 constituencies where up to 70 candidates compete on 35 seats. And head of the National Elections Authority, Councillor Hazem Badawi, stated that the current electoral process is the longest in the history of Egypt's parliamentary life. During a press conference held at the NEA's headquarters to announce the results of the 30 annulled constituencies in the first phase of the House of Representatives elections, Councillor Badawi emphasized the commitment of Egyptians to ensure that this electoral process marks the beginning of correcting practices that some have attempted to exploit to override their will and alter the parliamentary course towards a more mature and committed democratic path. He added that the change began with popular and judicial oversight to confront and eliminate such practices in a free and impartial selection of the people's representatives without imposition or direction. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said on Thursday Egypt's real estate platform is going to be an important mechanism for increasing foreign currency through exporting the national real estates among the rising demand on them. The Prime Minister made his remarks in a follow-up meeting of the implementation of the platform, contributing to facilitate the ownership process of real estates for Egyptians abroad or foreigners. Through the platform, the government will offer different real estate models, meeting the needs of all brackets. This comes within the framework of Egypt's keen interest in the real estate investment file. As part of Egypt's efforts to alleviate Palestinian suffering due to devastating genocide Israeli war, the Egyptian Red Crescent sent the 97th convoy of the Zaid al-Izza initiative through a Rafah border crossing on Thursday. The convoy was carrying urgent humanitarian aid to the Palestinian territory. The Egyptian Red Crescent said it tries to intensify the provision of the much-needed basic winter supplies to alleviate the suffering of the Palestinian people. The convoy included winter clothes, heavy blankets and tents, essential nutrients, food and medical supplies. The Egyptian Civil Society Organization is leading a national effort to coordinate the flow of relief aid to Gaza.